Hello everybody, Gunstock Michael here. Been a long time since I posted, haven't been in the shop. Do have two very interesting old and rare guns that just came in for stock repair and refinishing. So I will be publishing on that directly. And I do have those HW95s I talked about before, those are under progress. But what I've been really busy on and why I dropped out of video land for a bit was building up my van conversion, and I'm here on the Upper Sac near Dunsmuir fly fishing. And so this is just kind of a glance at it. Got a kitchen box there on the left, and maybe if I'm clever I'll interject a photo from when I was cooking earlier. Love to be one of those ritzy YouTube channels with music and a bikini girl cooking out of the back of the van conversion, but I didn't want to bore you all with that. I'll just show you what I got going on. Got a sink in the back there, bucket toilet, chairs and a table, kerosene heater inside there, uses external air for combustion, circulates the internal air over a heat exchanger, so it makes a nice warm dry heat. It's fantastic. Got a solar system panel up there prepared for 400 watt solar, but currently I'm charging the 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery off of the vehicle's alternator when I'm driving through a DC-DC converter. Got some shelves up there and a bed built for two. I got lots more build out I can do in here, but this is just a look. Got a couple drawers underneath for fishing clothing and gear. Rod storage underneath. The bed converts into a love seat for movie watching. Got a little amplifier there and a couple of cheap speakers from the thrift store, but they sound okay in this little space. That's the heater outlet down there behind the sink. And yep, that's just a quick glance. Ceiling, I made like making a stripper canoe with cove and bead router bits. Ripped some inexpensive Hemlock 2x3s from Home Depot into little strips and ran them through the router bits and then glued them together. It was a little rough my first time doing it, and then cutting my own strips on a table saw. They weren't exactly perfect, but it actually has a pretty cool appearance. I built it in place, and then I glued a 2x underneath with expanding foam to hold the shape, and then took it down and out and put 3 giant thick bands of fiberglass over the top to hold it all together, and then put it back in with just a few screws you see there. It works. Got some 12 volt lights in there. There's one there, one in the back. A new one I'm working on installing right here by this door. Got one underneath the kitchen cabinet back there so I can see when I'm cooking. The kitchen is functional when the doors are closed, so I can cook inside. Everything's a little cramped, but it's fully functional. There's more to tell. The shower system. There's some more upgrades I have in mind. I made the bed for two, which is cool. A lot of times I'm finding myself out by myself, and so I'm thinking of making a skinnier bed with a seating space next to it, so I don't have to. I mean, this is fine if I have somebody with me to convert the bed. It'd be worth the effort. But when I'm by myself, it's kind of a pain in the butt to convert it into a chair and then back into a bed. Or I may as well have just one of each side by side. Okay, I gotta go fishing. The sun just came out, so give me a good opportunity to show you what I've been doing here last month or more. Just been full bore on trying to get this built so I can go fishing, and here I am fishing. Okay, check back in here in the next couple days. I got some updates to show you on some gun work. Thanks everybody, bye. Well, here's an interesting rock outcropping I came across here on the Upper Sac. Seems like some kind of pyroclastic sort of flow. You know, maybe mud fossil people would say it's fossilized tree, but I don't think that. Some of this looks very sedimentary and kind of shale-like in a little bit. But then it transitions over here. There's streaks of like quartz. It's become more opalized or quartzified. I'm no geologist, coining a term there. But I don't know if my iPhone can pick up how pretty this stuff is. growing right out of this other unremarkable shale, sedimentary looking stuff. It really, up close here, it really looks shale. Huh. A lot of it up there. Okay, the river's over there. It's calling my name. Gotta keep moving. Okay, I'm back, everybody. I just came back for a late lunch and trying to decide whether I'm gonna go fish some different water at the same location or relocate. But I was just thinking of a couple of things on this van build that I wanted to mention. One is that prior to this trip, I added this insulation to both sides, and what it is that they're Harbor Freight moving blankets. They're cheap. I sewed some Velcro on here and stuck them on. My previous experience doing stick-on Velcro, of course I sewed it on the fabric, but stick on to the body panel, is that in the heat of summer, those stick-em will probably give away. I have to come up with another solution at that time, maybe powerful magnets, but right now it's working. And what that meant last night, besides being pretty comfortable, is used a lot less fuel than before. It started out just underneath this line right there and used about that much, so maybe a couple inches. There's probably a good 3-4 days of fuel there, which is great. Here, this is a fuel transfer pump. I use that to suck the oil, the kerosene, out of whatever container it comes to the van in and put it up into the fill neck. And I have also used it the other way around to empty the fuel tank when I needed to work on the system. This is the fuel pump, got it wrapped in neoprene to try to reduce the noise of the clunk, clunk, clunk. And this is a 400-watt solar system designed from Will Prowse, except that I added a switch to turn to power up the solar charge controller, because a lot of the time I don't need it, so I don't need that idle drain. Yeah, I think those were the main things I wanted to show you. Here, the kitchen, you can see how it fits to the van door. It sticks inside, but everything is accessible from inside, all closed up. So I got some pantry space here. It's, you know, a pretty good amount of space. And I made these retention latches. They're just 1/8-inch wire that's been bent and machined groove in a high-density polyethylene block. And the two angles are not in the same plane, so that it can't unlock going this way, but has over-unlocking capability on the other side to make sure it absolutely clears when it's open. So, more storage. This is where, it's not a great place for the tortillas, I guess, but I got plates and coffee cups and silverware, some other stuff in here. And then this is where the light switch is for this light here, which illuminates on the cooking area here. And then here, where I keep the propane and some other taller items. I made sure that one shelf space fit the propane and a small size olive oil bottle. Okay, so I think that's all that I had on my mind right now. This is the rod rack system, which I'll show you how that works, but basically it's just a little slide, capture the handle kind of affair there. All right, I'll check back in later. Well, I don't have to go very far around here to find some strange things, maybe related to mystery history. I'm in Towandal Park here in Dunsmuir, and Look at this interesting rock. Does not appear to be concrete. I don't think this is a lump of concrete. Yep. I don't know what to make of that. They bored holes to blow it up from wherever it came from. Okay, I gotta keep walking. Hello everybody. Second morning, everything's working out great. Just cooked a great breakfast, a mess of veggies and some egg whites, tortilla. Did the cleanup. I live in tiny, you gotta stay on top of everything all the time. It's not like a big fifth wheel RV or something where maybe you can leave dishes piled up like you can at home. Everything's gotta be clean to put away. But it's cool, it's fun. Life is a hobby, right? So hardly used any fuel. I started about here, come down here 2 nights of running, and hardly used any electricity last night. It was pretty full after a little bit of driving yesterday. That's all it used, running the inverter for maybe 4 hours and the heater all night. Yeah, it's pretty cozy and comfy. This seems to be working out as a good location for the ice cooler, ice chest, and where I think the compressor fridge will probably end up living. I had thought that the compressor fridge, in a lot of ways it made sense here, but the way well, this might be a little too intimate a detail, but the way I kneel at the bathroom, that would just not work out. It'd make the bathroom use really awkward. So I'm liking it up there. Make a little platform for it. It'll extend over the foot of the bed an inch or two. Not foot, but here on the side. So that's what I'm looking at. Oh, here's the detail on the fly rod holder. It's got a little slot there. All right, that's it. I gotta get suited up and get on the creek. So I came across this interesting feature here. It's a giant rock, and it looks like it was cleared to make way for the railroad. And I can see these long vertical scratch marks that aren't quite parallel for the most part. So that's curious, because it was like the teeth on an excavator that was used to scrape on the wall. They'd be parallel. These aren't. Maybe they were giant long core drill holes to dynamite off the rock. Or if the railroad system was actually refurbished from a previous civilization that it pre-existed, European settlers, maybe this was done by them with different kind of machinery. But pretty impressive. Would have been a lot of drilling. I bet that's what they are, though. That's my best guess. Okay, gonna keep hiking. Okay, back to hiking. Trying to get to one last hole before hopefully there's an evening hatch.